The prelude to either the worst or best piece of professional media you're going to see. Glad to say it's the latter today. So, Netflix finally gives some love to one of their animated projects, releasing the long-anticipated second season of Arcane. If this is your first video, hi, I'm Will. And today we're talking about the good, the bad, and the ugly with Arcane Season 2, while I try to entertain you with drawings of the cast in different art styles. But first, this is not my introduction to the property. I am familiar with League, I've played games, but I'm not caught up with all its lore. Thus, this one is called the Average Viewer Review. I know, crazy. The first season was filled with so much meat, it actually changed me. So color me surprised when I jumped on the first episode of the season and realized I remembered none of it. Has it really been that long, or is my brain just regressing? So I watched the first season before coming back. The series, specifically this season, was very fast paced. This was not something you could even dare to watch in the background. The visuals are absolutely stunning, the best you'll see this year. But some of the artistic montage sequences are kind of hard to follow when it comes to translating the plot. It starts with the aftermath of Jinx's attack against the council. Some like Victor are on the brink of death, while others like Mel and Jace are seemingly unaffected. But most important to the plot, Caitlyn's mom, Cassandra Kiriman, dies. This is partly in fault to Caitlyn and Vi for not taking the shot at Jinx when they could have. The council tries to figure out how to retaliate against the attack, if Zaun should suffer or just Jinx, but before they even have enough time to think, they're attacked again. These attacks set up the course of the story, the manipulation schemes of one of our antagonists, Mbessa, and the further separation of the two cities, Piltover and Zaun. Now things are messy on all ends. There are three main plot lines that Arcane wants us to follow here. Caitlyn and Vi versus Jinx, Mel versus Mbessa, and Jace versus the wannabe Messiah. And these main plot lines have about 2 subplots each, including relationship turmoil, family squabbles and reunions, corruption of the land, which delves into the messed up intricacies of classism. And what I believe is the main message is peace enough to justify the loss of freedom. Now, a lot of cooks in the kitchen here, but I think they worked it. I originally felt that it came as a detriment to the series until the release of the third part. I felt that way because if you blinked, you missed so much, and we ended the second part with way more questions than answers, but glad to say that there were barely any plot lines left hanging at the end of the series. So for this review, I am mainly going to focus on Caitlyn, Vi, and Jinx's plotline. I'm pretty sure that's the plot A for the season. Jinx had a huge bounty on her head. They're trying to make an example out of her, and she is just kind of done with it all. You can tell she has no true aim at this point, just trying to put one foot in the grave, all while claiming she wants to put an end to her last family member, Vi. Vi, on the other hand, feels like her sister is lost forever and it is time to finally put her down. So both of our protagonists are in agreement, right? Seems like case shut. They still care about each other even if they aren't admitting it. But to be fair with both of them, at this point I felt Jinx was too far gone as well. And in the moment where she accepts her death at the hands of Vi, I thought, oh shit. She's not beyond redemption. And boy, was I happy with the events that unfolded. This is what I wanted to see. Vi hesitates, Caitlyn loses her shit, and Jinx escapes, causing them to break up. Then post time skip, we find out Caitlyn has been clapping one of her crewmates' cheeks as a rebound. And man, I could not hold my disappointment. This is the same girl who talked Vi into joining the task force. After glazing her, it be your own knickknacks, bro. Vi dyes her hair black and goes back to the underground to punch away her feelings. Our favorite screw-up Jinx hung up the jersey to be a big sister to the non-verbal Isha, and I was so happy seeing her happy. It's possible that this could have only happened because Isha is unable to speak, which prevents Jinx's mind from misinterpreting her. Either way, in her absence, she became an icon to Zaun, a symbol of freedom and rebellion. With great power comes great responsibilities, and she wanted none of that shit. But here these dumbasses go, getting themselves locked up, so she has to go out and save them. She rescues them in her also sarcastic way, expecting some weird parasocial praise from them, but it was none of that. Just this beautiful moment of acceptance, letting her know that they may not know each other personally, but they are connected. They are family, and she's not truly alone. Of course, the show couldn't let us stay in this bliss because shit hits the fan when the creature they teased all through the season finally shows up after killing everything in its path. Jinx sacrifices herself to fight the creature, and as I suspected, the creature spares her because it's her freaking dad. Gasp! This gives the perfect excuse to find Vi, and we as the viewer finally get that payoff of them mending their relationship. To fully heal Vander, they take him to Victor's encampment, of which he has become some sort of Messiah cult leader. Progress is made, and we finally get to see our happy family together since the first episode, just before it's cruelly taken away from us. Jace kills Victor to stop the spread of the runes. We don't even get the time to think of the morality of it all because all the progress made on Vander is immediately regressed. The last thing you see from this episode is truly heartbreaking when you view it from Jinx's perspective. A person who had already given up on her life, watching the people who gave her a reason to keep on living die right in front of her. And all she can do is watch. At this point, I had so many questions. Is that really Jace? Where the heck is Echo and Heimerdinger? And why would he do that? We finally got Vander back. And the next episode answers all these questions in everyone's favorite way. Time travel. Yeah. But at least in this story, it's written well and serves a huge purpose. Episode 7 and 8 is one of the most impressive executions I've ever seen of tying plot lines together. The dichotomy of Echo's journey, learning to love Jinx again, manipulating her in some ways, but also falling into what could have been. And that culminating in my favorite scene where he attempts to talk her down from self-deletion. All of these moments were exemplary in guiding us to the finale, which had an impressive yet peculiar representation of war. Like, you had voice characters dying like flies, but also commander generals directly on the front lines, which makes sense when you take into account their character motivations and ideals. Halfway through the finale, I was dumbfounded, watching in awe, and at some point, things started to take a turn for me. The show has beautiful cinematography, like I've said. It has some jaw-dropping animated sequences, but after watching some of it, I feel like I need to go on YouTube and find some 30-minute video explaining a 1-minute interaction, i.e. the Black Rose and Mel scene. And the nail in the coffin for me was the death of our protagonist, robbing us from the peace we so craved, from the alternate reality we got teased with, and I felt that with all the war going on, this was like the lamest way it could happen. It felt unnecessary. Sorry, I like happy endings. Also, speaking of unnecessary, you definitely got reminders that this is a Netflix show when sex scenes go a little longer than they need to be. Like, from the direction of the show, it seemed like these scenes would have been better if they were just implied and we moved on. It starts to feel like Netflix holds budget away from projects unless they agree to add these scenes, you know? The show ends in such a way that season 3 could happen, but it also doesn't need to. It's a befitting end to many of our character stories. The show's an action adventure, and it definitely does feel like it. There's a lot of moving parts that trigger one another like a cog in a machine. The action sequences are stunning and well choreographed. This is nuts to bust action for all lovers of degeneracy. My ranking for Arcane Season 2 is a 9.5 out of 10. Prior to the last 3 episodes, I would have given it an 8, but it all tied together perfectly in the end, like I was watching one of those manifest prophecies. Prior to the second half of the finale, I would have given it a 10 now, if I'm serious. But I just felt like our protagonist's deaths could have either been avoided or gone about in a more enduring way that I couldn't fully blame on another character. But yeah, it's a very bingeable show for everyone. Anyone who appreciates animation will enjoy this. In fact, it's more enjoyable if binged because of the cliffhangers we get left on. The dialogue is very well written and the animation is the best I've seen this year. Just, plan ahead to have your calendar clear before watching this one. And thank you guys for watching. I will catch you in the next video. Don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe. And bye.
Every time I see you leaving traces of my heart back. Hope you pick it up, then as a team we put it all back. As a man I shouldn't even tell you where my heart's at. I don't care cause baby girl it's you just got my heart hacked. And that's a hard fact. You got my heart mad.